Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans. It's another Finstastic Friday here at Dolphins Thirsty. Thank you for joining us today. Our Miami Dolphins will be taking on I want to say Oakland, the Raiders of Las Vegas. How about that? The Las Vegas Raiders will be visiting Hard Rock Stadium this week at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Dolphins will be back in action. Looking forward to it after the bye week. It was a good bye week, as we all know, for the Miami Dolphins last week. So we got some wins without them in playing. But now the stage is set again for our Dolphins to actually take the field themselves, go out there and play the game that we all love watching them to play. Good morning, Ender, as always. Big fins up to you. Always appreciate when you hit that room. One of the first in here all the time. Big kudos to you, Ender. So the Dolphins, they made some news yesterday. Robbie Chosen is out the door. They waived him. Looks like A-Chan's going to be back in action, which should be a very big move for the Dolphins, especially this week. I don't know if they're going to break him in 100%, whatever, but the Raiders do not have the best run defense by any stretch of the imagination. So it's a good week to get him back in action and come back and make some of the big yards and the big plays that he was doing before he had the injured knee that kept him sidelined, put him on an injury reserve for 4 games. Welcome addition back. Robbie Chosen didn't really do too much for us, but I was at the game that he had a long touchdown pass from Mike White against the Broncos when we put up 70 points. I was there for that. So he does have a little bit of memory in the Dolphins history. He can always say he got a touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. So that's something. And as far as the Dolphins running game this week, I think it's the day to get back to it because you do not want Crosby teeing off and coming after Tua all day long. Yes, this is what I'm thinking. He would be back because he doesn't want to go to any other team. And I think he would probably be back on the practice squad. So you are correct on that front ender. But as far as like contributions on the active roster, it looks like that may have come to an end, but will be good to have him on there. They like him. He likes to be here. So it's a good fit. You never know who gets banged up during the season. So it's good to keep Robbie Chosen on the practice squad if that happens again. But Scotty did call it yesterday. But I think we've been calling it a lot, saying Robbie Chosen was going to be the guy out the door. But it did finally officially happen. And you are probably right in there. If he clears waivers, he would be back on the practice squad because he doesn't want to go anywhere. They kind of made that evident. So he was going to sign with Miami or retire. So if Miami puts him on, he earns a little extra money the rest of the season, and you have him stats on the practice squad in case. We will see if that comes to fruition, or he just decides to hang it up. But it's not bad, earn a little few extra thousand each week and, be on the practice squad without getting banged up. Hey, it's all good. I think we signed, which is why we signed, Swartz. I wouldn't be surprised if KC shows interest in Robbie. Yeah, you're right. He could that would be a good move for them, Scotty. It's not often a veteran free agent becomes available that has some ability left that could help a team. I do believe that Swartz, the Dolphins probably hold on a little higher regard, and the Chiefs may be looking at it the other way. That Chosen comes in as a veteran and more ready to contribute right away. Dolphins look at it probably as a longer term thing at the receiver position, given Swartz is more youthful and have, a chance to contribute down the road better. The big news though is like if Achan comes back, that's what the big good news is. If he comes back to the not if he comes back, but if he comes back to the level that he was playing before he injured his knee, the Dolphins have a whole different style of offense, and that's what we need because that's how you're going to win when you get into like late November, in December, and you want that balanced attack. That is the way to go. Hey, DG Live, always a big pleasure to see you. Big fins up to you guys. Make sure you check out his content that he has and add an extra E on DG Live for his excellent content. But yeah, man, I'm like, it's just like a kid in a candy store, man, because A-Chan just wowed me, man. He was just so much fun having a running back that could take it to the house all the time. Yes, Mozart can take it, but just seeing them, I think we all root for the real big guys when they get the ball and they start running, and we all root for the little guy. And A-Chan is just that little guy that, it's just like he has that motor that just goes so quick, so much fun, exciting to watch that little guy running out there against those huge men trying to get him. And I love it, man. It's just an added excitement. Hey, Dad Dean, big fins up to you on this Finstastic Friday. So the Dolphins are continuing, they continue to churn the bottom of the roster. They had guys earlier in the week to come in and do tryouts. McDaniel said none of them were signed, but they did have some people earlier. As you see there, they worked out Bubba Bolden, Dane, I won't say his name again, Colby Gossett, Wes Martin, AJ Moore, and Andrew Norwell. That was the other day. We talked about that already, but it just shows that the Dolphins are always out there on the lookout. They will continue to churn the roster at the bottom of the roster. At this point in the season, you're not going to be making acquisitions at the top of the roster unless people get hurt and you lose them, but you're not going to be adding top of the roster talent at this point in the offseason. So you churn looking to see if there's someone on that team that can improve your team overall. Hey, good morning, New Attitude. Yeah, Norwell is interesting of that group. That's one I kind of like too. He's proven he can play at a pretty good level at the guard position. So we will see. Interesting to see that Eichenberg is probably going to be the right guard, according to Barry Jackson and Mike. Well, it was according to Mike McDaniel, but in the Barry Jackson article I was reading, I listened to the press. It looks like Eichenberg is going to be at right guard, and you're going to get yourself some Lester Cotton at left guard. So that's a little bit of a change up, but supposedly Eichenberg prefers right guard. He's more comfortable at right guard, but they've always just end up needing him because, you've had Hunt. He wasn't going to beat out Hunt. So if that comes to fruition and Hunt, he's going to be there. So that could be, hey, maybe that would be good. Maybe he'd be a little better on that side. Play right next to Austin Jackson, two guys that struggled for a lot of their career. Jackson has stepped it up. Maybe that will rub off on Eichenberg, and Eichenberg will start playing well. So it should be interesting to see. Hey, good morning, Miss Fins. Thank you for coming in here. She had a great show, guys, this morning. If you missed it, go check it out after you're done watching this show. As always, she breaks down things nicely. She broke down this Raiders game coming up on Sunday. So it was really good job. We're going to do more of a breaking down that game because Steve Malloy and I will break down that game Sunday morning. So today's just a general feel good, Finstastic Friday for the Miami Dolphins. Anything's on the table as far as when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. If you want to talk about the good old days, the current days, whatever you want, we will be there. Ike next to AJ to protect Crosby. I know that Crosby scares me against those guys, but hey, we will see. If Eichenberg really is more comfortable out there on that side, that should be at least a help. We do got Connor Williams. We got Armstead, and we got Austin Jackson, who's played well. I'm not going to knock him. I'm not going to let the long history of us being a little disappointed with him. He's playing well this year for the most part, does well in pass protection. But does that scare me? Of course, having those two guys go against Crosby, of course it does, because that Crosby is just one of those guys that gets it done. I think he has 9.5 sacks on the year, but he's not just sacks. He's always getting pressures, always making plays on the ball. He's a threat to be dealt with on that defense without a doubt. If there's a one guy on the defense of the Raiders that scares me for this game, it is definitely Max Crosby. And they have some other good players, of course, too. But Max Crosby is the headline getter, and he's definitely the one that gets my attention as far as when you watch the Raiders game. It's almost impossible not to see him. He's always making plays somehow. Hey, good morning, Steve. You will be doing your show Monday morning, 10 a.m., right here on Dolphins Thursday. And I say your show because I'm still 50-50 whether I should go to the game with my son or not. Because I'm waiting. I don't want to get my other son up in Gainesville too mad that me and my other son are going to all these games while he's away at school. But I'm looking at that schedule and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should go. Because after that, man, the tickets really start going up. Like the Dallas Cowboy game is like, over almost $300 per ticket on Christmas Eve. So I'm thinking, man, maybe this Raiders game may be the last little, last ride of the Mohegans going to the game this with my son. But Steve, if I do make it last instant, I have no doubt that you will fly solo once again and do super duper Steve, because you always do. And you get a big thumbs up from my biggest fan on here. Well, my wife and kids are big fans too, but my mom, thank you, mom, down there in Kendall watching. She always watches and she always says, "Oh, Steve did a great job." So, Steve, you get a kudos from a very important fan in my book. So, you always rock. Armstead better have knocked the rust off, especially when Cotton next to him. I agree, Scotty, on that take. The offensive line scares me for the Dolphins this week. We're down Robert Hunt. We're down, Robert Jones, who already was a backup to win. So we're really down. We're really down on the offensive line. It's my man, as you've seen many times before, Scotty. Steve's had big rants about our offensive line and that we did not prepare our offensive line good enough as far as depth. Steve likes the starters, but he said all along, man, our depth is laser thin. And, you know, Eichenberg played okay at center, but he had said, oh my God, if Connor Williams get hurt, we're really going to be trouble at center. That came to fruition. Eichenberg filled in okay. He filled in okay. Was he a superstar there? No, but he did, I guess, an adequate enough job that we got some victories with him at center. But he just happened to be at center at some of the biggest games, unfortunately, when we played the Buffalo Bills and when we played the Eagles. So hopefully, moving forward, Connor Williams can stay healthy. And hey, we could be Bengals fans being investigated for not putting a guy on an injured list. Supposedly, the NFL is investigating the Cincinnati Bengals for not listing Joe Burrow on an injured list. And I hope I hope it's nothing serious. I hope he comes back and is ready to play real soon. I haven't seen any updates on his status, but hopefully they got like what they call the mini bye, because now they don't have, they played yesterday, but they don't have to play all the way until next Sunday. So maybe he'll be recovered. Like I said, I don't care what player you are on my most hated team. I hope you're 100% healthy, because you guys have short careers. They play for our entertainment, so I never want to see anyone hurt. So I hope Joe Burrow, but man, if Joe Burrow's out for any significant time, the Bengals, they might be done already in that tough division, but there's still wild card spots for them to obtain. I thought the Bengals, when they started winning after the slow start, I said, oh, the Bengals are the team to be reckoned with again. They're going to be the top there in the AFC, but they've dropped a couple in a row now. So the whole AFC is wide open. I really don't know. End of the day, it looks like Kansas City still may be the top dog in the AFC. So we will see, though, because our Dolphins are finally in that mixed, at least. You can't say Dolphins and get laughed at. Like a few years ago, if you would have said, hey, the Dolphins could win the AFC, people would have laughed at you. It's a very winnable conference this year in a very winnable division, more specifically for the Miami Dolphins. So we do got some things working for us, but I do hope Joe Burrow a speedy recovery. And any other player, quarterbacks always get the attention. I know the Ravens lost their tight end last night, which is a big blow to them. They lost Andrews. I'm hearing that's going to be for the season. So that's bad for them to wish him a speedy recovery coming back. DJ, you're saying you're scared, concerned, okay, but the whole scared thing is for the Pats. And yeah, no, no, you're right. Scared, concerned, worried, but I am a little bit nervous about that offensive line. I can't hide that, Scotty. That's a little bit nerve wracking that we're down to those people because think of it. More injuries are going to happen if it comes at those positions. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to pull a UPS driver off the streets and start playing football. I don't know. Get Norwell maybe, someone, but I'm really just concerned there. But I do think Robert Hunt will come back probably in the following. By the time we play the Jets, I'm hoping Hunt's back. Him and Jones are both listed as week to week. And Mike McDaniel's been consistent with that week to week status. It's Friday, so if it's normally scheduled, Mike McDaniel should have a press conference again today. So we get a little more update on what everyone's status looks like. So that should be very interesting to see. And Mike McDaniel always puts on a pretty good talking show. He even jokes about how he can get long-winded. Oh, snaps Andrew out for season. I looked bad when he couldn't walk up the step. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, Scotty. Is that verified? No, but that's what people are reporting on social media today that it looks like Andrews is out for the season. So that's a big blow to the Ravens. And like I said, I never like injury to any team. But does that help the Dolphins? Of course it does when the Dolphins go up there because the Dolphins, even though they did put a stop to Kelsey, the Dolphins have let tight ends hurt them in the past. So is it a benefit? Yes, but I don't want that benefit. I hope him a speedy recovery, as I do every player when they get injured, or any person when they get injured. But so okay, I would say concerned, Scotty, more than scared, because for this week, I think the Dolphins. There is no reason on this great green earth of ours that we all share should the Dolphins lose to the Raiders. That would be a gut punch, chin punch, blow to the back, whatever you want, whatever term you'd like to say. That would be uh, if you come out with an L on this game, that's a big, huge blow that neither of us. Hey, we know what, Ender? I was thinking Birmingham Farmerly when I gave that UPS line. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Watch that NFL try to ban the hip drop tackle. Yeah, I heard Hardball was asking why did that have to take place. It got questioned. So it is a trending topic, Scotty. So you may be on point in the off season that when the league rules committees, you never know. It won't be this year because they very seldom do anything within the year, but you are right down the road. Yeah, we can go over the lineup for sure, sir. But like I said, the main lineup I'm concerned of is the offensive line lineup, Dad Dean. So let's cover that first. You're talking Armstead at left tackle, left guard. You're talking Lester Cotton. Center, you're talking Connor Williams. So that's fine. I'm happy there. And obviously I can say that with Armstead. I'm happy there. And then right guard, it looking like you got Eichenberg moving over to right guard and right tackle Austin Jackson. And then the rest of the starters are going to be on offense. It's going to be, mainly everyone back as long as everyone's healthy. So we're good there. That's why I said scared. I should have said concerned. And that's where I am concerned on that offensive line. A lot of injuries come from the tackle form. It takes sense to ban it, but would very much alter the game. You're right, Scotty. But they're more inclined to help protect players in this day and age. So it is a good chance that they look into different types of rules to help the players stay healthy. Because at the end of the day, that's what people pay to watch. People watch on TV. They get their good TV ratings and all that because they want to see talented football players play. And the best way to see them play is to keep them healthy. So they will look into rules like that. Healthy dose of Ingold and Smith blocking. Yes, Garrett. Thank you very much, by the way, Garrett, for dropping in this morning. It's always nice to see all you guys. Of course, Garrett comes in here from time to time, so big appreciation. But no, you're right, Garrett. A healthy dose of Ingold, who hasn't been 100% this year, but he has been still playing. But they haven't used him as much because of that. Because almost every single Monday he's in a walking boot. People are saying and stuff. I don't see him in it, but I just read reports. So he's not 100%. Smite is fine. You're right. We will use those guys to block more, and you know maybe even Julian Hill, the undrafted tight end. So we will have, and River Craycraft is coming back. So River Craycraft, on top of being a pretty good receiver, as we all know, he can get that ball, but he's also probably one of our best, if not best, run blocking receivers. So he can be in there to help block out on the edge and do what he has to do to set up the runs and some screen plays or whatever you run. So River Craycraft coming back should be a nice help to the Dolphins as well. Can we go for the Raiders? So you're saying the Dolphins lineup or the Raiders lineup? I would have to go pull up their roster if you want me to do the Raiders, Dad Dean. But I'll do anything you guys want. But as far as the Dolphins defense, Dad Dean, I see basically this is the healthiest we've been all year. We got everyone for the most part back on the team, ready to go. You're going to have all the rust that had been on Jalen Ramsey should be long gone, and he hasn't played like he really had that much rust. And then you get Xavier Howard out there with him, Javon Holland. All these guys are going to be rocking and rolling. The defensive line is basically where we've stayed pretty consistent throughout the years with our guys up there. And let's see of our okay, let me get so yeah, on defense though, like I say, Dad Dean, I believe this defense is going to be the strongest it's been moving forward, and I see good things improving because if our defense can just stay, some rankings, you see them all the way up to like 10. Some I see 12. As far as yards per game, we're right there at 12, so it's not bad. We've been moving up slowly, and we should get there. Of course, what we want is less points given up because the fewer the points, the easier it is to win. Obviously, the fewer points you give up, the more points you score. Not rocket science, but that is improving on that for sure. Of our 6 receivers, which one is designated game day and active? Wilson, Claypool. I'm thinking maybe Claypool, maybe Wilson, but Claypool I heard was dealing with some little bit of injuries and whatever, and he wasn't seen at practice a couple. He was at the facility, but not on the practice field. And so maybe Claypool. That's a good question, Scotty. Very good question indeed. And maybe Claypool. I don't know. What are you leaning, Scotty? What are you leaning? We haven't seen much of Claypool in the passing game at all. So it could be leaning that way. I would like to see him get involved. That bigger, he has that one reception. I think it was against New England. I know it was a game I was at, but I think it was New England game. But he needs to get more involved you know if we want to use that big body receiver. But he could be the one that's out because he's been listed on the injury report. I think every single day. I should have brought that up. I should have had the injury thing brought up on the screen there. I can go find it. Okay, I hadn't heard Claypool was having issues. That's brand new to me. I do know he is struggling with the playbook. I was leaning Claypool. Yeah, they didn't really like say, "Hey, good morning, G-man. Big fins up to you." It's just like they said he was dealing with some issues, like not game-ending issues, but that he did miss some practice sessions this week. But hopefully, or he was limited in some practice sessions this week. So hopefully he comes back healthy eventually. Because like I said, I like that big body receiver. I like the move. It kind of surprised me. New Finland actually broke the news to me because I was on the live show when the Dolphins pulled that deal. And New Finland, he's not in the room right now, but he's a regular in here. And he broke that news while we were all in here. So it was funny because I thought he was saying that we should trade for him. I'm like, why would we? And he goes, no, you misunderstood me. We did trade for him. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess so. I guess they did want him. But I'm trying to go to see what the latest injury report for the Miami Dolphins is. Miami Dolphins injury report. Let's see if he week 11. Let me see if I can see it. I can't see it. Oh, I have it. Let's see. Claypool is listed on the injury report with a knee, did not participate Wednesday or Thursday. Alec Ingle did not participate until Thursday and he was limited. Devon Achan's been limited all week, but has been Armstead's been limited, but that's always basically the same with Mostert, always about the same. Javon Holland was listed on the injury list. He's full participant though yesterday. Jaden Phillips was listed with back toe, but full participant yesterday. Waddle listed with the knee was a full participant yesterday, and his status for whatever reason. I mean, on Wednesday he was a full participant, but his status wasn't listed for yesterday. It was not listed according to this chart. That's what it says, not listed. So I guess he's maybe taken off. So there you go. Let's see. Mac Crosby was listed on theirs, but he's limited with a knee. So that's what you have on that front. So there, maybe since he hasn't been practicing, it may be him being out. There are only a small handful of players, if they don't practice, will still play. Claypool and Hunt are not among those few, in my opinion. You are right. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Jamaican. Oh, let's see. From Zion, always good to see you back in here. It's been a while, but a big thumbs up to you, sir. Numerous pre-snap plans every game, never prepared for a big game. Sounds like a coaching issue. G-Man, I don't know. Like I said, let's base that over a course of a whole NFL season. We're not even that high in the penalty rankings. Miss Fins actually went over it a couple days ago. We're not that, but do some penalties come at a crucial time? It feels like yes. Could we clean some of that stuff up? Yes. Has play clock management gotten better though? Yes. We still have some where we got to maybe burn that time out, but we've gotten a lot better. I see improvement from McDaniel last year to this year, and I've seen slight improvements as this season's gone on. But are there still some issues? Of course, there's going to be on any team in the NFL. There's going to be some issues that come into play. I mean, there's games that things happen. But G-Man, overall, I'm happy with McDaniel. And I know you're not G-Man, and that's what makes great being a Dolphin fan is this we all can agree to disagree on some topics. But I do like Mike McDaniel. I think he has the team playing well. Yes, we have the 3 losses against what at the time, not only 2 losses against teams with winning records because the Bills no longer have, but as the time that we played them, we have the losses against teams with winning records. So I understand some of the discomfort, some of the concerns on that front, but the only way to end that is to go out there and start beating those teams. So if we can go win the games that we're supposed to beat, go into Baltimore and win, maybe G-Man, you would start. I don't think I haven't lowered the bar. I don't think there's any Dolphin fan on the planet that doesn't want a championship, G-Man. I don't think there's any, but I just keep my expectations from week to week because you see how things fast change from week to week. I mean, it's just a crazy league. It seems to be crazier as each year goes by because like the 49ers were the greatest thing since sliced bread, then they lose three in a row and people start doubting it, then they go crush Jacksonville. So I just see things changing from week to week. So things can still change. We basically are getting better on defense, basically under the control of Vic Fangio. So the defense is going to be in good under good leadership of a veteran defensive coordinator that's seen this rodeo many times before. He has all of his pieces to the puzzle, so now he's able to fit them in a lot better and do the scheming that's necessary. So I see that getting better. But gee, man, my bar's not lower. I want the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl every year. I would wanted that in the 1 in 15 year of Cam Cameron. But I do like overall what I'm seeing. So my bar's not lower, G man. It's just, you know, let's see. The bar's not lowered. I want the Dolphins, but to get there, I want them to win the division first. So I'm logical. Let's get them to win the division first, then worry about the next step because you can't win the whole championship without first making the playoffs, and that includes beating bad teams to get to the playoffs because you have to have that good record. So that includes beating all the teams on your schedule that you can beat. Get that W every week. You can get that W, get to the playoffs and start playing well. And if you have a home game and you can get one playoff win, it's going to get confidence behind these players, knowing that they can go out there and beat another playoff team and you don't know what happened. You could get on a roll because it's not one team that really super scares me in the whole AFC that I look at and say the Dolphins can't beat. Do some teams match up well against us? Yes. But do we also match up well against some of those teams? Yes. So I do have that optimism, G man. I do. But am I just all out? Oh, Dolphins are the best and we're winning the Super Bowl no matter what? No, I'm not that crazy. Listen to all Dolphin pod with Omar and Allen. Omar was noise issue. It's a noise issue with the pre-snap stuff. You're all listening to all Dolphins pod with Omar. Omar has noticed a noise issue with the pre. Yes, yes, some of that could be. Omar has talked about that several times. That's why he doesn't think our offense is as fluid with it. Let's see. Can this Dolphins team do it? G man, of course this Dolphins team can do it. I think yes, they can. They can because you see it every week. Just teams start getting better. Look at the Texans. They're improving every week. They're beating teams that no one thought they would beat. So the Dolphins can start doing that as well. Still got a good nucleus of talent. Their defense is getting back all intact, really, for the first time all season. The past couple of weeks, they're finally getting our defense back. So, yes, G Man, would I go out and bet my house on it and put my family out on the street if we lose? No, I'm not going to go that far. But do I say the Dolphins have a chance? I think their chance is just as well as other teams because the Bills have definitely taken a step back. The Jets lost Aaron Rodgers in the first game, and that hurt them. So the AFC East is right out there for the taking. And once you win your division, you got a home playoff game, and then you start, you never know what's happening, G Man. So is there a chance, G Man? Yes, there is a chance. Would I bet on it? No, but I wouldn't bet on any of that because who do I know who's going to be playing best at the end of December going into the playoffs? Let's see. What did Moya say? I know all the way teams do it, but we don't have those issues at home games. So no, it's definitely an issue, Moya. I was saying that too, along with Omar. I've said that a couple times before that we can't do as much motions, can't time it up. Tyreek Hill has himself said that he can't hear and he has to kind of guess this, going up the field motion because it's not like Canada where you can just be ticking up off the field before the snap. So it's just definitely harder to do on the road. That's why it's imperative to get some home playoff games for sure. Okay, to be clear, Rob, do you think this team, the Dolphins, can win it all? I think there is a possibility, yes. Am I saying it's likely? No, but is there a chance? Yes, there is a chance, G Man. And you may call that Mr. Homer, Mr. Faithful, but I've been a fan a long time like you. I've seen the 20 something years without a playoff win, but this is the most talented roster we've had in a long time, G Man. And I do believe there is a chance. Like I said, I'm not saying a big chance, small chance, whatever, but is there a chance? I think most people think there's a little bit of a chance. Let's see. Joe Burrow last night, 2 timeouts and a delay a game in the first quarter. Yeah, I know that stuff happens for sure. And now I just hope. Hey, see, yes, G man, same here. See, oh, but I'm just saying, G man, this is a good, talented football team. I like the coaching staff, and I'm just saying, am I all in saying we're better than everyone by far, and there's no one that can beat us? No, I'm not saying that. But am I saying is there a chance? Yes, there is. And there's a good chance, a lot better chance than a lot of other teams, especially if we win the division, because then you're just a few games away from getting to the promised land and you can get on a roll. So let's see, G man. Because listen, I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm always going to try to be optimistic because it's more fun to be optimistic, obviously. Because if I just know they're just going to stink, then why even bother watching? And then I just look at the score. That's how I look at it. Seattle Stadium is known as Self-Man for Noise. Stop trying to say Omar has discovered our row issue. Hey, but yeah, I think Tyreek Hill said it himself, and then that's where I think Omar got it from actually because he listened to Tyreek Hill say, "Oh, it's harder to hear the snap count on the road." I mean, that's been known for years. That's why you see all the quarterbacks doing this when they're on the road saying, I can't hear." So it happens, and so I don't know. I mean, that is yeah. So Omar is not discovering anything brand new, but he is pointing out, I guess, a good thing is this what Moya's saying, but yeah, he's definitely not breaking ground there. That's why teams want home games. It's been known teams want home games because of crowd noise and weather and whatever you have issues on the road. It's always nice to have that home cooking. That's why teams strive to win their division so they can have that home cooking. I know this seemed like the back of my hand, but no chance they're winning it at all. They will probably make the playoffs. For sure, I think they're going to make the playoff. I mean, I should because unless they have an ultimate collapse, I see them win the AFC East this year, G man. And like I say, it's it's there for the taking this year. It's not like there's one team in the AFC that is way better than everyone else. Kansas City is the closest to that. But can you beat them on any given Sunday? Yes, you can. Hey, Dolphin Don. Big Fins up. Saw you this morning in Miss Fins. Good to see you come over here. Thank you so much. So, G Man, I understand your pain, G Man. That's why I don't pick on you like some do. I understand your pain. Why you why you're don't believe that the Dolphins will win because we've seen this rodeo over and over again. But I just feel like this Dolphins team is trending the right direction. All right, that's fair enough. They can win the division. I agree with you. The division is awful. Win it all? No. Hey, we shall see. We shall see, sir, because there are other teams that have some issues too. So let's just hope that the Dolphins continue to entertain us each and every week, which I enjoy, and I'm sure you do too, to an extent, G man. I understand your pain. Don't let it turn to hate, man. It's not where my love for this franchise is slowly turning. Don't let it do that, G man. Then it's not even worth watching. Just enjoy it and just try to have fun. But anyway, back to this Raiders game. There is no reason that we should lose to this Raiders team. We're coming off a bye. They're coming off a Sunday night performance. They got to travel across the country, come into Hard Rock, play a 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time against their body's going to be all out of funk. You know the Dolphins are going to be having the Raiders wear their black jerseys. It's like going to be in the 80s, not a super hot South Florida day, but hot enough to when you're out there. So there is no reason, and with their quarterback that they're going against, there is no reason that the Miami Dolphins should lose this game. So that's what my prediction. That's about the most because normally I'm always worried, but almost scares me that I'm not worried about this week because that's when things go bad for me normally. But I don't see the Dolphins losing to this Raiders game at all. Look what the two did as a wild. Yes, good example. Dolphins state of mind. Good example. That team was a wild card, snuck into the playoff, but ended up defeating the New England Patriots, who had been perfect up to that point. So you just never know. You just never know how things are going to go. That's all it is. I had PSD too, but feel like the wind is blowing. That's how I am, Dolphin Don. That's why I agree too. Believe me, I've been there. I can tell you the last time the Dolphins won the playoff was December 30th, 2000. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I mean, since the last time we won the playoffs, it's just insane. I agree with you 100%, and I understand oh, here we go again. And I've been there where they built up great teams and they don't do anything. But this team, 6-3 after 9 games. Yes, I wish they would have beaten Kansas City and be sitting there at 7-2, and we would all be drinking the Kool-Aid a lot more. I understand that. But we lost that game, beat ourselves in that game more than any game I believe that we've lost this year. We just beat ourselves in that game and just came out flat for whatever reason. Yes, the Chiefs defense is good and they limited our offense some, but some of it was just our own undoing. And it's just that's what hurts. Dude, now you're scared, you're not worried. I swear I can't win with you. Said we worry. G Man DT. A GT. Scott, no, not at all. I don't know what I'm saying. You're scared. Now you're scared, not worried. I don't when did I say I was scared? I don't know. I use scared, whatever. But do I get a little bit scared of our past? Yes. But am I worried about this year? Yes, I'm a little worried. How about that? AFC champion would be KC at Buffalo. AFC Champions game will be KC at. What are you talking about? I don't know. Oh, at Baltimore. Okay. I was reading Buffalo. Okay. I was gonna say, man. I was gonna say I don't know how Buffalo's gonna get there, but let's see. We two lacks coming out, got behind the 8 ball and couldn't make up the difference. No, right. You're right there, man. That game was just we spent the week over there. I thought that was the right approach, but maybe they just came out too lax, and it's just they just never got in the groove of the game. Then when they finally did put up some points, it was like a little too late because then we had to score in that last drive, and it all went. I figured, G man, I knew once I saw you say Baltimore. But Scotty, if I say scared, whatever, it's just me like blabbing. Sometimes I get blabby. I talk quick, but do I have nervous worries about the Miami Dolphins as far as not advancing to the Super Bowl? Of course I do. I was talking Super Bowl talk, but AFC East, I just feel like the Miami Dolphins will win the AFC East this year, take the crown from Buffalo. Their 3-year reign is over, and that's where I'm pretty confident. But if you want to say scared, nervous, concerned, whatever word you want to use, as far as I'm getting to the all the way to the Super Bowl, of course I got my concerns, my worries, my questions, because that's a big. Only 2 teams get there at the end of the day, get all the way to the Super Bowl. So of course I get worried. We haven't been back to the Super Bowl since the end of the 1984 season with Dan Marino taking on the Joe Montana and the 49ers. So we haven't been to the Super Bowl in all that time. So of course I think I'd be normal to be a little scared about that. So I don't know. I guess it's just how I'm using the word scared, Scotty. Okay, excited for this team. This year has been an absolute joy week to week with the team. My expectations continue our success. I agree with that 100%. This has been an excitable season, Scotty. That's well said. See, it's easier to type it out than sometimes when you just ramble on up here live with the camera rolling and the light on you. But yes, I'm very excited with this Dolphins team. It's been fun to watch. It kind of reminds me, not on the level of course, Dan Marino, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton days, but it kind of reminds me of those days where you throw the ball around, you make some big plays, have 20-yard chunk plays, because we went years where we would have been happy with one play of 15 yards in a game. Like, oh, we had a 15-yard play. Now, in almost every single drive, we have a 15-yard play. So times are definitely fun to watch the Miami Dolphins. And I do have very high hopes for this Miami Dolphins team. But like I say, would I bet my mortgage on it? No, I would not. But do I think this Dolphins team can finally end that playoff drought? Yes, I do. I expect them to win a playoff game this year. At a minimum, I expect them to win at least one playoff game. That's my expectation level for this Miami Dolphins team. Your final teams would be KC, Baltimore, Philly, San Fran. Book it. All right. Hey, G Man, if you're that confident, go bet on that. And I give you a big kudos if that happens, that you won some money at least if our Dolphins don't make it that far. So if you're that confident, go do it, G Man. That's all I say. Interesting. Fact is that every team wins their home teams, including Dolphins. Dolphins get the third seed. Hey, I would take the third seed at this point, sir. I will take the third seed at this point, just like that. I don't know. Dad Dean's always coming up with the good stuff. Him and Hooked Up Joe, they always know some numbers, as does Scotty. As a lot of you guys do. So I give you kudos to that for sure. But Scotty, let me make no point. I want to make this point clear. I love watching this 2023 Miami Dolphins go at it. I've spent a lot of money going to the individual games because a few years ago I had a health problem where I couldn't get to the season tickets. Then lo and behold, Tyreek Hill signed. Then there's a waiting list. There was never a waiting list back in the day when I had tickets and could go all to the games. I remember with my shift work as being a officer forever, worked around, go to as many games as I could, do everything. Now there's a waiting list, but I've gone to a few games this year, and I got to spend big money to get to some of these games. Like I said, the Dallas game maybe just sit at home on Christmas Eve and watch them. But believe me, Scotty, this team has been the most fun I've seen the Dolphins for many years. Very exciting, lots of fun to watch. Enjoying every game, watching with my son that lives here still, and it's been a joy to watch this team with some disappointments along the way. But it's like every season, unless you're a 1972 Miami Dolphins fan that got to go every game without a loss, you're going to have your bumps along the way. But this Miami Dolphins team has been fun, exciting, and above all of that, they've been a good team. And they're continuing to get better, making strides each week. And like I said earlier in the show, the defense is just really starting to come to fruition. They're getting their guys back. And each week that they have them back, it's going to be more of a learning of the whole team. They're going to gel together. And we're going to start limiting some teams' points to where our offense won't have to put up in the 30s or the high 20s. You can win some games of our scoring in the low 20s and get some wins like that. So, because that's what you're going to need come the playoff bunch up time and you start facing good defenses on the road and stuff like that. Definitely not trying to pounce on you. I just can't stand Omar. We actually discussed the noise a lot after the Buffalo game. The focus out of Philly was refs for sure. So I read Omar more than I listen to his show. He has a good show, from what I understand. I just don't get over there too much and see. I like reading, like the old fogey like I am. I read a lot of stuff That's why I just like writing for fun on my dolphinthirsty.com, which I have to do today to get it updated, trying to get this YouTube thing moving along. You guys are helping out, by the way, by being in the room today. So if you haven't done so already, give that big pop on the thumbs up, throw a laser pass at it, and that would help. And it's free to do. I understand, G-Men, the pain. I understand. I believe me, I know. There's many times when I thought, oh, we get this guy. I've been there when Don Shula built like a great team. What we thought at the end of all big price guys coming in, and that team fell on its face, which basically brought on the career of Jimmy Johnson coming to Florida, and then thinking, oh, okay, maybe he has the energy and he would bring Marino that elusive title. That, as we all know, didn't happen. He drafted some good players for the Dolphins, Jimmy Johnson, but his career was nothing like it had been over in Dallas, where he won championships. So I remember Nick Saban coming thinking he was going to be the great coach, and him saying he's not going to leave for Alabama. And he left for Alabama, as we all know. I've been here for all that stuff, all those years and years of pain. So I feel you, G man. But this year is just it's fun to watch. I mean, at the end of the day, if we don't win it all, it's been a fun journey, exciting to watch. Very seldom do I. The Kansas City game was the closest one where I watched where the Dolphins kind of bored you at times. They just couldn't get out of their own way, came out flat. But you're going to have games like that over the course of an NFL season. Unfortunately, ours came on the national stage in Germany for the whole world to see. We came out just not being the team I had witnessed all year long. And I blame that more on the Dolphins than I do the Chiefs. I don't know. It was just wasn't good. And like I said, Tua had a chance at the end. I mean, despite all the bad, not being at our best, gifting them 7 on the fumble from Tyreek Hill, we still had a chance to tie that game up at the end, and we didn't get it done. So, do I still think we can go far in the playoffs? Yes, I do. So that's my thing. Hey, no problem, Steve. Just be ready to roll on this channel come Sunday morning, maybe solo or maybe with me on it. We will see. It's going to be I'm going to see if prices drop a little bit. Sometimes they go up. Sometimes I roll the dice when I'm looking on StubHub and stuff like that. And sometimes they drop on when it gets closer because people start saying, oh, no one's buying this ticket, and they lower their high prices. So that's what I'm going to see happen. I'm going to wait out a couple more days. If they go up, then I'm going to be watching on the comfort of my nice HD TV. If it goes down to a price I feel like I'm going to pounce on, my son and I would be there, and Steve, you would be solo doing a great show on the pregame show. So I'll let you know. All these years, no matter what happens, I still enjoy. Oh, I enjoy the Dolphin seasons too, Dad Dean. That's why I'm Dolphins thirsty after all. I want to do a website that I actually make no revenue on whatsoever. I do it just for fun, out of passion. Same for this channel. Just doing it all for fun, for passion, just to meet fellow teammates like you guys coming in here and talking about the Miami Dolphins. Because it's the one thing in my life that I really love that I have no control of. Same with my baseball team. But those two things, because my other, obviously, family and working and all that stuff, I love, but I have somewhat control over it, a little bit. The wife may disagree I have control, but but you know what I mean. I got some control. Dolphins and the Red Sox, I have no control. So that's why I think it drives me crazy. Because my other passion is going fishing. Even though I go many days without catching fish, but at least I feel like I'm out there making my cast, changing the lures, changing the look. So I am in a little bit of control. Sometimes the fish don't cooperate, but hey, that's just fishing. That's why they call it fishing, not catching. But this isn't a fishing show, so enough about fishing. But you get the point. I think that's why sometimes the Dolphins and whatever our favorite teams are drive us the most crazy, because it's one aspect of our life we have no control over. Can't control who they're going to draft. Can't control who they're going to sign in free agency. Can't control how they're going to call a play during the game. Can't control whether they should go for on 4th down or kick the field goal or punt. Can't control any of that. So we're all sitting back watching like a movie unfold in front of our eyes every week, live in action. And I love it, and I'm here for it. And it's just part of the reason I'm a fan. And I will always be a Dolphin fan no matter how they perform. Yep. Yep. The missus is always in control. Yes, Dolphin Dawn. Dolphin, exactly. You enjoy the ride because it's actually our year. It's just sad that hater fans are going to complain all season as we win a Super Bowl. Don't compare. Yes, the Red Sox have won numerous championships. Yes, they have. But many of my years they had not. I was part of that 86 years without the Red Sox. In 1986, when I was in high school, they lost to the Mets. And I thought, oh my God, which was a weird few years for the Dolphins because in 1982, the Dolphins lost the Super Bowl. In 1984, the Dolphins lost the Super Bowl. In 1986, the Red Sox lost the World Series. So I'm like, man, my team always gets you the big dance, but always gets left hanging out without being able to take the final dance of the night. So that's just how my teams rolled until 2004, and the Red Sox brought me some love as they came back. Sorry, Scotty, close your ears for a minute. In 2004, the Red Sox did the unthinkable. They were down 3 games to none, made a historic comeback. The rest is history. And the Red Sox have gone on to win some World Series, and I love it. So now it's time for the Dolphins to return my love that I give these two franchises. So I would love to see it. I would love to see the Dolphins win. I mean, it's just, it'd be awesome to see the Dolphins win. And once again, I know I have no control. When it because they didn't win because of us fans, but it would just feel like we're just part of it because we've stuck through them for all these years where they just break our heart. And like I said, we've had big free agent signings, we've had big coach signings, we've done everything that you think you need to get there, and we just fall flat on our face. But this year, I'm 100% with you on that take, Scotty. I am enjoying the week by week. I never try to tell people how to fan, Scotty, but I agree with you. There's no reason not just to enjoy it. And if inevitably the Dolphins do fall on their face, at least you've enjoyed the ride up until that point, right? That's how I look at it. Because if you're already going to worry about the bad, you're not enjoying the good along the way. You might as well enjoy the good on the way. And if the bad inevitably happens that we get knocked out of the playoffs or our season collapses, which I don't see happening, then hey, but at least you enjoyed every game along the way. That's how I look at it, and that's how I finally learned to follow the Dolphins. Just enjoy as we go each week. Yeah, that happens, Scotty. That happens. What's good, Scotty? We're having fun, man. We got six. We've played 9 games and won 6 of them, Scotty. That's how I look at it. See, I got 2 bottles, one almost empty, but one full. But I'm always trying to look at the full side here. And that's how I look at it. We've had 6 wins. We've seen Tula play well in a lot of those games. You see Tyreek Hill putting up historic numbers. We've seen Chen make great plays as a rookie. So there's a lot of fun to me. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of fun. There's like great movies we go to, and then the ending sucks. But this movie up until the ending was good. So, I'm just enjoying. There's a lot that I've had fun with. I like Mike McDaniel. I even like his press conferences. To me, he's fun. I just like him. I think he's funny. He just brings humor. It's enjoyment. It's like I don't have to worry about the stock market or any other things about retirement and all of this. When I just watch the Dolphins, they're my biggest problems. It's a good problem to have. Like, only, okay, so I'm mad that we didn't win. But in the great scheme of things, it's not that bad. I love a lot of things this year, G Man. I like I say, Chan busting out, having a great rookie season. Tyreek Hill putting up great numbers. Tua staying healthy, knock on wood to this point, playing well, other than the end of that Kansas City game. And I'll be pointing, like I say, I point out the bad. He did not play well at the end of the Kansas City game. But I've enjoyed it. So there are things I've enjoyed about this season. Just putting up big offense. I was at the game where they scored 70 points, and I don't want to hear, oh, they only played the Denver Broncos. That's the Buffalo Bills, how they feel about only the Denver Broncos coming to town. Let me then get back with me. It was fun. I was at that game with my son, 70 points. So there's a lot of things I've loved about this season, G-Man. That's how I look at it. I will always, me and my son will have that forever because I still talk to my mom because she took me to the 1985 Chicago Bears game. So I still to this day talk about that game with my mom that we were there when the Dolphins beat the Chicago Bears in 1985 to end their undefeated season. So I understand what you're saying, G-Man. And believe me, of all the fans in this room, I understand your pain. I know it. I've lived it. I feel it with you. But I have seen many things this season that's excited me, that makes me happy to watch this team play. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Cowherd now claiming Wilson is back and the Broncos are a playoff team. Cowherd. Hey, that man makes a lot of money for his outrageous takes. So more kudos to him. I wish I would have known there was a career like that out there than pushing around a police car for over 20 something years, you know? So I wish I would have known, man. That guy, I think he just has a great voice, is what people like about him, or I don't know what they like about him. But that guy, he has outrageous takes, but yet he makes good money because a lot of radio personalities don't make that great money. But I've read where he has 7 figures a year contract that he makes just talking his BS claims. Like sometimes it's like I don't know who he knew, what happened, how the worlds align that he got where he got. But yes, he has some crazy takes sometimes. Hey, I would love if the Broncos end up becoming a playoff team. I would find that funny. All these people saying the Dolphins beat a team that was a JV team, and then they end up making the playoffs. I would find that awesome. Yeah, Dolphin dog. Well, yes, this is true, but I'm talking about my adulthood, Mister Dolphin Don. And I'm talking because when I was born late. I was born in December of 1969. So I was like 3 and 4 years old when the Dolphins won their Super Bowl. I don't remember any of that. Or yeah, 3 and 4 years old, I think. Yeah, when the Dolphins won those. I don't remember any of that. I do remember the Super Bowl loss. It. I'm just talking about in my lifetime that I remember watching, you know, and that's how I look at it. So the Red Sox in my life have given me memories. Remember, my sons all remember. My oldest son remembers a couple of the World Series championship, and my younger son definitely remembers 2000. Well, he remembers 2013 and 2000. Yeah, he actually remembers a couple of them too. So it's good. They have those memories forever. Hey, maybe in 2072 they would go perfect, G man. So just stick around. There you go. I was December 1969. So Dad, Dean, and I are right there in the same neighborhood all together, man. See, that's it. I was just a little too young to remember those early years. But I do remember the David Woodley and Don in the end of Bob Greasy era when he was just not really that much the same anymore. I remember that. And then I remember Don's um, David Woodley and Don Strock, the Woodstock years, that era. AJ Dewey I always say is my first favorite player. He's from that same era of the Woodley Don Strock era stage there. So that's where I really became a true diehard fan of the Miami Dolphins. The 1981 playoff game against the San Diego Chargers. I get to say San Diego because that's where they played back then. So that's where I really remember. So, G Man, you're in the same boat. I understand your pain, G Man. I understand your pain. But just enjoy it, G Man, because there's no reason not to. Just enjoy the week to week. And then if they lose, you know what? Then it's over anyway. So, yeah, I know that Chargers game was a memory. I mean, that was epic. I know I've talked about it all the time here, but that was an epic game. I mean, though we came up on the wrong side of the scoreboard at the end, but it was a great game. Nobody can tell me what happened to the Dolphin offense in their 3 losses. Well, I can tell you they didn't play that well overall. Gee, man, it happens. It happens. We will see. Now I'm on to my full bottle of water, G-Man, but it won't be empty by the time I'm done because I'm almost done. But guys, I love you guys coming in here. This has been a fun talk today. You guys always make it super, just like Mark Super Duper number 85 that played for the Miami Dolphins back in the day. It's really cool stuff. And G-Man, all I can say is just try to enjoy each game. Even if it's against a team that you think isn't so great, just enjoy that victory. Even if it's against a team you don't think is that great, it's still fun to watch the Dolphins. We look forward to it all off season, wanting to see the Dolphins play. So just try to take fun times at it. It happens only against good teams. Hmm. G-Man, I do agree, but I think some of the Dolphins playing against that, it's like their issue sometimes is I think they put a little too much on themselves. They have to get over that. I do think they put pressure on themselves, knowing that the narrative is. So, yes, that's going to take a little bit of getting over. But the season is just really basically past the halfway mark. Lots of football to be played. It can be for the better, it could be for the worse, but I think it's going to be for the better. I do believe the Dolphins will win the AFC East. I do believe the Dolphins will win a playoff game. After that, I don't know. Those are my two expectations. Win the AFC East, win one playoff game. And after you win that one playoff game, you might be able to take that next step and the next step if you're not the number one seed and the two extra steps to get to the big game. You just don't know. Things change during the course of the season. Players get hurt on every team around the NFL. You don't know who's going to be healthy going into those. Could be us that take the banged up approach like happened last year. So I mean, Dolphins probably would have beat Buffalo last year if Tua doesn't get hurt, and we have him starting instead of Skylar Thompson and no Moser, and still go toe to toe with Buffalo up there in the playoff game. So there is hope that things can change. Is how I look at it. No, I know. That's it. We don't play. If we lose to Dallas, I know then the narrative's really going to be we can't beat a good team, Dad Dean. That's what scares me about that game at home because that'll be the narrative without a doubt. But it's kind of the narrative on the Dallas Cowboys too that they can't really beat a good team. So we will see when it comes to fruition when those two teams play on Christmas Eve, and that will be G Man. I don't know what more to say to you. I love that you come in here, and I hope you at least nail that thumbs up button, that you're positive enough to at least hit that thumbs up button because it helps our channel here, and I appreciate it. So that I really do hope you can nail that thumbs up for me. I'm never going to change your mind, G-Man, but I do appreciate that you love the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. I just wish you would look at it each week and appreciate it week by week and take it that way. But you fan like you want a fan. We a fan like we want a fan. And I think that's what makes us a great Dolphin nation all together, having our different takes. Because even at draft time, we all have our different takes on who we should take, who should we draft, should we trade up, should we trade down, all makes this fun. That's what enjoys being fun. That's what makes the banter here back and forth among us all fun and games. Even my main man Scotty will get mad at me if I say scared or nervous, but that's just me blabbing. But overall, I'm pretty confident about this Miami Dolphins team. And it's definitely the best Dolphins team I've seen in a few years. That I know and that I appreciate. I am scared, concerned, worried, about the offensive line, Scotty. That I can't hide. But other than that, I see good things for this franchise moving forward in 2023. I think we're going to peak at the right time as opposed to tanking at the wrong time. I think we're actually going to peak at the right time. They will finally, once again, sorry, Lexus, I'm going to steal your commercial. They're going to give us a December to remember for the good this year. That's my faith in the team. They're going to give us a December to remember for the good this year. Yep, regular season about winning division and season. Dolphins are in best position now. And I agree, Dad Dean. Very good point. Yep, you're a great, very good team. I know the Patriots division revival. We beat two times. There's only one way to change my mind: win. I hear you, man. I hear you, G, man. Let's see. Not me. I'm more. This is from Dolphin Don, guys. In case you're just listening, not watching. Dolphin Don says, "Not me. I'm worrying, but we're still a four. Although I'm worrying, we're a four." So I agree. Initially, I wasn't sure this week, but I think we score over 30 now. I think we do well. I think maybe 28, 31. I think we can at least hit in the 30s this week. Hopefully, we don't come out too rusty because we haven't played now for a little bit. Hopefully, we're not too rusty. We come out ready, knock the Raiders down early, make them have to try to pass so they can't run Jacobs all day against us, get them down, and I think we should win this game pretty easily. I don't know about covering the spread. It's a pretty big spread. I think it was 13.5 points the last I checked. And so that's a pretty big ask. But they've done it every game at home. They've done every time I see these big spreads, the Dolphins end up covering it. 42-13 Dolphins dominate Raider. I would love that, man. That would make a no stress Sunday, getting ready for Thanksgiving week, have my family coming to the house here in Pembroke Pines on the Thursday, kicking them all out by the Friday so I can watch a game and yell at the TV and alone. Even though my family knows I yell at the TV, but still, I would keep that to my wife and kids. And as we take on the Jets on Black Friday, but it's going to be a fun Thanksgiving. So it would be a lot better with the Dolphins having a dominant win over the Raiders as the last game before the big Thanksgiving dinner turkey meal. Anyway, Dolphin fans, I'm going to be out of here. You guys always rock. And if you haven't done so already, as you see on the bottom there, hit the thumbs up. I like to say fins up. It really does help the channel. And I appreciate all you guys. G-Man and all of you guys, have a great Thanksgiving. If you don't hit the show before next week, because I won't be doing a show probably on the Wednesday next week. I would probably still do the other shows up until then, and then we will see. Everyone's going to want to enjoy the holidays, so I don't know how many people are going to be around wanting to see a show anyway. So take that time, enjoy. If you don't see me before then, remember there will be a pregame show here Sunday morning, 10 a.m. It's either going to be Steve all by himself if I make the game day decision to go to the game, or it's going to be Steve and I if I stay home to watch the game on TV. So with that said, have a great rest of your Finstastic Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I don't know who you guys are rooting for in the college games or any of that, but the next couple of weeks in college football should get interesting. So you guys root for whoever you guys root for out there. You won't get any debate from me. I have a son that goes to UF, so I kind of root for him, but I was never a diehard fan. It's only been a couple years that he's been there, so like them. Haven't been very good since he's been there. So it'd be interesting. They play the Seminoles not this week, but the next week on Thanksgiving Day weekend. They will be taking on the Seminoles, who are the ranked number 4 in the whole nation. We will see if they can ruin the Seminoles season. Who knows? That's it, man. A nice chat Thursday. Thank you, Moya TV. Always great to have all you guys in here. And with no further ado, I'm going to be out of here. And let me see. Always have to find the closeout video. Fins up, thumbs up. Dolphins #1. Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Next show on here. Go Dolphins.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, man, he knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins thirsty.